If you zoom out far enough, politics hasn't really changed in 2,000 years. Rome had client kingdoms, and the Middle Age had vassal states. The Soviet had satellites, and the US has strategic allies. Different names, same idea. It's all about sphere of influence. And populism, the Romans called it bread and circuses. Kings called it royal charity. Today, it's campaign promises and handouts. Divide and conquer has been dressed up as balance of power, proxy wars, or strategic fragmentation. It's the same playbook, new cover art. What has changed is the value of these tools. Take propaganda, for instance. It used to be, an empire or a nation, churches, even religious organizations, and even more recently, marketing professionals. But today, every YouTuber, TikToker, Instagrammer, and bots, comment bots, chat bots, entire bot networks can now do all the heavy lifting at scale. What once required the resources of large organizations is now available to anybody with Wi-Fi and a laptop. Propaganda got cheap, and that's what makes it so much more dangerous. You can see it play out in real time. Go watch a video about Russia and Ukraine or Israel and Palestine. It doesn't matter which side you lean towards, you already know what the comments are going to look like. It'll be armies of bots echoing the same predictable talking points, flooding the thread until real voices disappear. And it's not just geopolitics. You take race, class, gender, language, whatever the issue, the pattern's always the same. Everything gets amplified to extremes. And the result, debate isn't about finding common ground anymore, it's about trench warfare. Two sides locked in, repeating slogans until nothing productive is left. And here's the kicker. While debate collapses, IQ scores are dropping worldwide. Now, IQ isn't everything. I know IQ doesn't measure all forms of intelligence. We've heard that a million times. It doesn't capture creativity necessarily, and it certainly doesn't capture emotional depth. But it does measure critical thinking and pattern recognition better than any other test that we can do. And those exact skills are what politicians are supposed to be using, and what politics in general, people in politics, should be using to solve our problems. So even if you cut through the bots and the propaganda, there are fewer people every day equipped for nuanced, constructive debate. So the arena shrinks down to sound bites, outrage, hashtags, all that kind of stuff. And then layered on top of all of this is how we live in modern societies. Industrial societies all followed the same path. Went rural to urban with an increasing population density. The US was different because we also included suburbanization because of cars and because we're such a car-centric country. But the thing is, that model is now spreading all over the world. When you combine low birth rates with, rising urban costs and, let's call it, quote unquote, urban development, which takes higher dense areas, demolishes them, and builds slower dense areas, the sprawl is growing in every country all over the world now. Suburbs are everywhere. It used to just be mostly the US, Canada, but now we've got fewer walkable streets and fewer neighborhoods where you just bump into people all over the world. That means less organic face-to-face conversation, less community, more reliance upon online interaction. The whole area that's already dominated by bots and propaganda and polarization. So where does this leave us? Well, we know the rules haven't changed. The terrain's just shifted a bit. The only real solution is just like the rules of power haven't changed, it's the rules to overcome power or to gain power for positive effects. They haven't changed either. And the best way to deal with it is to go small and local. It doesn't have to be left and right, it doesn't have to be red or blue tie, it doesn't matter what color tie your politician's wearing. Though we gotta talk about actual problems. Do we want the storefront sitting empty for another 30 years in our little town? Should we ease taxes for local businesses to kickstart bottom-up growth? It's about rebuilding the habit of real conversations with real people. Go clean up a park, paint over some graffiti, do some actual artistic graffiti on top of some gang graffiti. Start a community project. 'Cause, the only way we're going to fix the problem with bots and propaganda isn't trying to actually sink to their level and do the same thing. It's building a offline community face to face where that stuff can't necessarily interfere.